worked with a guy, and he had went to a gas station and had seen and witnessed my wife with her boyfriend kissing all over her neck.
April and Daniel Richardson have been married since they were only 17. They have done everything possible to make their 7-year union work, but now April and Daniel feel they're at a breaking point with no turning back.
He looks at me and goes, hey, why don't we have a threesome with my coworker? That happened, but I made it a point to both of them. That was never happen again.
Your Honor, that is a lie. It happened more than 3 times.
I don't know where you people live, but you make Sodom and Gomorrah look like Disneyland.
As the old saying goes, 2's company, but 3's a crowd.
How'd you end up sleeping with the 2 of them?
Today, on Divorce Court.
Come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Lynn Toller presiding.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with April Richardson and Daniel Richardson. Although you're only 25, the 2 of you have been married for 7 years. You have 4 children together, but you do not want to be married anymore. In fact, both of you are now engaged to other people. And Mr. Richardson, you have your fiancée, Rachel Beasley, here. To my right, and good day to you as well, Ms. Beasley. You have some financial matters you would like me to resolve, but before we do that, I'm going to start with you, Mrs. Richardson. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your marriage and why we're here in divorce court today?
Well, Your Honor, we're here because I'm ready to get rid of this lying, cheating, deadbeat, no good father who has cheated on me from day one. He has not only tried to sleep with one of my family members a year after we were married, but wanted to take our oldest daughter and move in with her. Then, in 2009, he decides he wants to live in the same house so that the kids are in a happy home, but be with his coworker. That he loved me because we had kids, but he wasn't in love with me. And after that, you know, I just let bygones be bygones. We made things work. Then, in 2012, he started working nights. And I was at home with the kids by myself. Someone had tried to break into our home. I was scared. So his girlfriend, Rachel Beasley, it was my best friend.
She wasn't a girlfriend then. She was your best friend.
She was my best friend who moved in with me.
Because you were scared to be alone
I was scared.
tonight.
So I had her move in to kind of help me out to make sure that I had an extra person there in case something did happen. Well, come to find out, you know, one thing led to another. My oldest caught them kissing in the car. They denied it. I let it go, told her she needed to pack her stuff and be out of my house by Saturday. This was on a Thursday.
Mr. Richardson, she's given me a history of you just falling in love with any woman around you.
Pretty much.
Why don't you tell me your version of these events? Start out with sleeping with the family member during the first year of marriage.
Well, Your Honor, when we got married when we were 17 years of age, I had actually talked to April through a girl that I was previously engaged to, and I found out that she was actually running around on me. And me and April started talking. We talked 3 months before we ever met each other. Around 2004, in October, I went down to go see her. And we spent 3 days together, and then I went back to Johnson City, and then I get a call that she's pregnant. And I'm in high school, so I mean, I let everything go to go and be with her and get a full-time job. Actually moved in with her and her family. And 3 months after we were married in 2005, she told me that she had slept with somebody else.
Did you do that?
Well, no, we got together in October. I moved in with him for a month, had to go back to quit school to be with him because it was either his parents get custody of me or me quit school so we can be together. I got pregnant in his mom and dad's camper in their front yard.
But did you cheat? Did you cheat on him, though?
No, from my understanding, we were separated. Yeah, I slept with someone that I knew, but we were not together. And from my understanding, we were finished.
Okay.
But we weren't married.
Okay, I get that part. Okay, Mr. Richardson. Now bring me forward to when you slept with her family member. Or maybe that's not true.
Your Honor, that's not true. I never did sleep with her family member. After she had sat me down and told me that she had slept with somebody, I was devastated. I was, because I was starting to doubt, you know, the pregnancy and everything, but I just want to get everything out in the open that my children are my children.
Right.
And I will do anything and everything it takes for my children. I was feeling alone. I was feeling in a place to where I was I was just basically shocked. And her family member approached me and talked to me and tried to comfort me. And
Next thing you know,
it's comfort as not in a sexual way, just as in talking, you know, because April's never been one that you can talk to. She does something, and it's her way or no way, you know, and she gets it out there, and she doesn't give you a chance to talk back or try to resolve a situation.
But you were talking to the family member, then what happened?
It really
you did end up sleeping
really,
with her?
No, really nothing that day. But we had went on a family outing, a camping trip, and the family member had offered to do something for me, and I had agreed, but then I turned it down, and then I approached my wife, and I told her about it, and I already went too far with talking, so I wanted to tell her
wanted to fess up and try to make it
Absolutely,
work. Well, now
Your Honor.
now bring me to 2009 when we got you fooling with the co-worker. Is that accurate?
In 2009, I had found out that April had been messing around with one of her boyfriends that she had in high school.
When Divorce Court continues, it's the woman in the middle's turn to speak out.
How did you go from being a source of support to a third party in their sex life? Now that the kids are grown and on their own, is your longtime spouse getting on your last nerve? If you're ready to divorce, call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com or become a fan at facebook.com/divorcecourt.
Divorce Court returns with the case of Daniel Richardson, who says his wife April has cheated on him with her ex-boyfriend. But this time, when things get out of hand, can April blame it on the alcohol?
I'm not gonna lie, one night we all got drunk. Plastered. And one thing led to another, and
All three of y'all got it.
yeah.
Now, Miss Richardson, you talked about how he was a cheater and a liar. He's over here telling me, admitting to what he's done, but also in the interim explaining that you tend to wander a bit yourself.
No, well, the whole issue is that this was a 3-week period with him before he decided to break up with me. But he looks at me and goes, hey, why don't we have a threesome with my coworker? No, not gonna happen.
That is not true. I asked you if she could move in because she had no place to go.
That was the 3rd week, thank you. The second week was,
All right. You need
she's
to get your facts
pregnant,
straight.
she has nowhere to go, can she live with us? I said, yeah, you can bring her here, sure, why not? And then let's see how that works out.
Yeah, never does.
No, because it
Never,
would not
ever,
happen.
I mean, I've been in here, this job for a long time. My so-and-so moved in because I was helping her out, and sooner or later, the other spouse and them fall on top of one another.
Yeah,
it just
but
happens
no.
all the time.
But it was like, it was the
Let me
3rd
give
week,
you-
it was like 3 weeks of the same stuff. And then the 3rd week, he informs me, I love you because we have kids together, but I'm not in love with you. I waited a whole month for him to be done with her. Then, yes, I got with my friend I dated when I was 13, and yes, I hooked up with him. But because, I mean, what am I supposed to do? Sit there and play kick around ball and wait for him?
Did you ever get involved with the woman that moved in?
Absolutely, she never moved in. Absolutely not. I mean, I never got involved with her in any kind of way at all. Like I told you, there was a kiss that was shared. But let me give you another instance about some coworkers. I worked with a guy, and he had went out and went to a gas station and had seen and witnessed my wife with her boyfriend kissing all over her neck. And see, he didn't know that this was my wife until he came and asked me, could he stay with me? And my wife answered the door, and he seen that I was there, and he pulled me to the side of work, and he said, you know something? I seen her at the Shell station with some guy that looked like John Lennon kissing all over her neck.
I don't know where you people live, but you make Sodom and Gomorrah look like Disneyland. I don't know. No one is keeping their hands to themselves. Let's move forward to 2012. And I'm going to start with you, Mrs. Richardson. You tell me how Ms. Beasley gets involved, and then we're going to let Ms. Beasley say what she needs to say.
Well, in 2012, I'm not going to lie, one night we all got drunk. Plastered. And one thing led to another, and...
All three of y'all got involved.
Yeah, and, you know... that happened, but I made it a point to both of them. That was never to happen again.
Your
It
Honor, that
happened
is a
and I
lie.
was
It
done.
happened more than 3 times.
So you were just living a life, weren't you, Mr. Richardson? You were
What
just
can I
having a
say?
good time. Ms. Beasley, why don't you come forward? We're gonna discuss this issue briefly, and as delicately as we know how. Ms. Beasley, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Did you move in the house with Ms. Richardson to help her feel secure when her neighborhood was unsafe?
I did. I was actually there one night when someone tried to break in the house.
Now, how did you go from being a source of support to a third party in their sex life?
Say that again, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
How'd you end up sleeping with the 2 of them?
I don't really know what to say about that. She asked if we could all. And
She asked?
No.
She did.
When divorce court continues, did Daniel get squeezed out of his own love triangle?
Your Honor, but I don't understand how she's going to say that it only happened one time and that was it. While I was at work, they were doing stuff together.
If you would like your case heard on Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com and follow us on Twitter at Divorce Court. Divorce Court returns with the case of April Richardson, who claims her husband Daniel is a deadbeat dad. But has April crossed the line?
Do you let your children call your new man daddy?
We were celebrating because, you know, technically we've been married 8 years this January. You know, we were just having a celebrate, you know, friends having fun type thing. Well, we start messing around and, you know, hey, cue is if a couple messes, hey, dude, I'm out. Not, ooh, hey, let's join in.
How the world
But anyway, so y'all together?
Yes, Your Honor, but I don't understand how she's going to say that it only happened one time and that was it. While I was at work, they were doing stuff together.
One thing always leads to another.
Y'all got a library or something in your town? I don't know. Y'all got to find something else to do.
I do. We've been separated for over a year, and what have I done? Raised children.
Yeah, no, I never get
While
that.
he raises his little girlfriend. Because you can't ask him for money. Yeah, granted, every now and again I might
Okay,
get
so
a
every
little.
time I call to talk to my children, she tells me unless you give me money, you can't talk to your
You're
children.
a liar. I know, no. You call it 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
And you know, she tells the people that she's staying with, do not let Daniel talk to his kids. What have I done to merit not talking to my children?
Well, let me ask you, and at no time do you keep a father from their children.
No,
You just
and
don't, unless he's hurting them or something like that.
Exactly.
Thank
I mean,
you,
if he's a
Your Honor.
bad
Thank you.
person or something like that, you don't let him see him. But those kids need him. They need
Exactly.
him consistently, constantly, and meaningfully, and you have to facilitate that.
And she sent me a text message the day before Father's Day and said, my phone will be turned off because me and my children's daddy and my children are going out to go eat and go fishing. And do not call.
That is not
Talking
what I
about
said.
her new fiance, and I got my son December the 22nd of 2012, and I kept him up until May of 2012 this year. When my son was staying with me and Rachel, when he asked if he could call her mommy, I said, no, that is not your mother. She thinks nothing of actually teaching my children that live with her to call him daddy.
Do you let your children call your new man daddy?
No. At the time when we separated, our daughter was 2, our youngest one. Yes, she has called him daddy. Do I ever call him daddy? No. Have I corrected her and said, she'll be like, Mommy, where's daddy? I mean, she turns 3 the end of this month.
That's
Okay?
when one of the last
But
times that
she's
I
like-
did talk to my daughter when she picked up the phone, she said, is this Daddy William? And then my family member had to explain to her, no, it's not Daddy William, it's Daddy Daddy. How do you think that makes me feel?
When divorce court continues, Judge Lynn doesn't mince words with Daniel's new woman.
I told him, I was like, if this is all she's gonna do, you don't need to call. Because that's wrong.
Miss
That's wrong.
Beasley, you need to stay out of this altogether. Not your business, not your job, not your right.
Divorce court returns with the case of April and Daniel Richardson, who have been married since they were 17 and now, after nearly 8 years of marriage, are throwing in the towel.
You can't get him to spend time with the kids without her blowing the phone up like she's done lost her mind, or her being a plug and won't get off of him for 2 seconds so my kids can be on him.
Miss Beasley, are you interfering with the parental relationship that your man has with his kids? Be honest.
At the very beginning, whenever she left, yes, I was. Simply because she did not stop complaining. She's always complained whenever he's called. So, saying how you don't call, you don't text, so I can tell them that you love them. And so I told him, I was like, if this is all she's gonna do, you don't need to call. Because that's wrong.
Miss
wrong.
Beasley, you need to stay out of this altogether. Not your business, not your job, not your right. Yeah, I mean, this is just a mess. I'm so glad you're separated. I'm so glad you found other people, because you weren't, that wasn't good. It was ugly and it was terrible. Mr. Richardson, I think you did some bad things, but I think you've told the absolute truth in here. I think you absolutely told, because you admitted to the wrong you did. Miss Richardson, I think you got a little more guilt going on than you admit to.
I meant that we all slept together.
It was all messy. And you can't live a life without a moral code and then wonder why it don't work out.
Well, no, and that's what I'm saying.
You just can't. You got to have strict rules. I mean, my husband and I, we've gone out and or stayed home and we've celebrated and had liquor. We don't get other people involved.
No, we don't.
We don't. Mrs. Richardson, you are seeking $414.01 for a charter cable bill. Why don't you tell me what that's about?
Okay, well, the bill is I've got several cable bills where I don't want to sit here and watch movies all day. I've got a box of movies that me and my kids have watched for a year. We don't care to watch them. He gets telephone and a big premium package so he can watch his football and then don't pay the bill.
Do you know the bill that she's referring to here?
Your Honor, if it'll get a monkey off my back, I'll pay it. I'll pay it.
What? Mr. Richardson, I think you're a decent guy. I think you make a lot of bad decisions, but you were young and silly and a boy. I believe you can raise your game a level. I think you have it in you.
Thank you.
I think you need to raise your game, too. You came in crooked, too. Your hands were never clean.
Oh, I know my hands aren't clean.
Your hands were never clean, and so you can't just point at him. All you can do is point at yourself and say, I am responsible, and therefore, from this day forward, I will not do that. All I'm asking for
I'm responsible, and I'm responsible for my 4 young children.
I get that. Ms.
It.
Richardson, make sure he gets an opportunity to see, talk to, and deal with those children.
I told him to come see them every other
Richardson,
weekend.
hush! Mr. Richardson, continue to deal with her in a rational way as possible. You got to be rational, Mrs. Richardson. I don't think you know where rational is.
Yeah, I told you.
No. Rational is not interrupting a judge who you asking for money. Not rational. Not rational. He volunteered to pay the whole thing, but I don't think he should have to. You were in there together. He was watching it. You were watching it. He could pay half. That half is $207. That's $207 in your favor. It is so ordered. Good luck to all of you.
Thank you.
All rise. Parties relieve the courtroom.
If something happens to you once, it could be just dumb luck. But if it keeps happening to you, you're gonna have to entertain the notion that the problem just might be you. Name it and claim it. Until you do, you can't tame it.